Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame, and this is the recap review for The Family Business. So, y'all, 5 minutes into the episode, I was like, what kind of dream is this heifer having? Because Sasha is in the middle of brother Samuel, not Samuel, oh God, not brother Samuel, Elijah, having a moment. And they are getting into it, and some sex is about to go down. And I'm like, this got to be a dream. So she woke up because it was a dream. And Brother Samuel was hovering over her like the trash that he is. And he was like, yeah, I've had my eye on you since you got here. And I'm about to enjoy this. I'm going to beat you until you tell me what I want to know. He done pulled his belt off, threatening to beat her with the belt. And I'm like, somebody please let a miracle happen, because he was like, yeah, I saw Elijah left. And as soon as he left, I came right in here to see you because I knew I'd be able to get to you because he ain't here. The only thing that messed me up was he got to you first. That's the only reason why I ain't been in here doing what I wanted to do with you in the first place. He had his eye, literally his eye, the only eye he actually has on her. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, I'm tired. Y'all, it went to another scene and then it came back. Y'all, when it came back to the scene and he apparently was about to roll up, Brother Elijah set it all the way off. He really set it off, and I was just like, why did you have to go off like this, sir? Why? But you already know the chemistry really is there between him and Sasha, and he'd have choked this man out. And I'm saying to myself, sir, you choking him out ain't gonna do nothing. You need to kill him. He's one of them people that, some people, they only can be stopped with a bullet or whatever it is that you're gonna poison them with, because they gonna continue to be trash. They gonna continue to be doing the most out here, and they are not great for society at all. He is not good for nothing. He is just trash. I can't. He one of them people that just, ugh. But anyway, they got into a scuffle, and he choked him out, and then he dragged him out of the room. And so I'm just like, I ain't got time for this foolishness. So they showed a Wendell's Wings box on the ground because he had apparently left to go pick up Sasha's food. He'd been going over there for the past couple of days, right? Okay, so everything finally is coming full circle, because I was like, something got to come up with this heifer being the way she is with the way she orders this food. Okay, so London and her husband go to Wendell's Wings. Just so coincidentally go over there. And she was just like, look, them wings good. I got some lemon pepper wings on my mind. Oh my gosh. My kids love the chicken fingers. Harris lived for the buffalo wings, I guess, whatever. So he was like, man, what's going on? Y'all heard from Junior. You know, they making small talk. They was like, no, but something strange been going on. I want to know why Sasha hanging out with the Muslim dudes. And they looking like, everybody confused, like, what did you talk, what? And she was like, I don't understand. Why is it she would be hanging out with the Muslim dudes? It's some Muslim dude who come up here every day and order the food that she eat. Y'all know how bougie she is. She order her food a certain way. She the only one who ordered this. Apparently, she the only one who ordered her wings to be cooked in coconut oil, fried extra hard or whatever it is, and all this other stuff. And I'm like, why is it not clicking a little bit faster that this is exceptional lead? I don't even understand why Wendell didn't think to call somebody to, you know, even inquire, because they going through. I'm like, what? Are we not understanding that there is a correlation, despite the fact that, I mean, like, no, I don't know, y'all. This is just has me all over the place. I'm not understanding why Wendell didn't call them and be like, quick question. Are y'all good with these people now? Because apparently, from the way that these wings are being ordered by this Muslim dude, she must be in cahoots with them. Like, did y'all have some kind of truce going on? Y'all good now? Like, what's going on? Because I'm like, you pretty much know what's going on with Junior. Why would you think that she would be hanging out with him? So anyway, eventually they were like, okay, well, let me call Orlando and let him know what's going on. So what's his name stepped out the door. Harris stepped outside, called him, and he was like, that's the Sasha special. Sasha the only one eat that. So he was like, I'm not close by, but I'm gonna send the twins over right now to, you know, the spot. Because they asked if they know where she, you know, is or where they be going to. And if they use a credit card, and it was like, yeah, it didn't work. So I'm like, well, that's stupid on their part. Why would y'all use a credit card? Y'all dumb. The only way that would work is if it was one of those little cards that ain't got nobody's name on it and you just putting cash on it, but whatever. The card wasn't even working. So it's like, what in the world was y'all, what in the world y'all had going on? So anyway, Brother Xavier is talking to Brother, Isaiah, Elijah, and want to know, has he made any progress with Sasha? You know anything else? He was like, no, but I am making progress with her. I don't know about her. I don't know where she came from or any of that, but I am making progress with her. He didn't want to hear that. He was like, no, let Brother Samuel take over. He gonna get the job done. Have you heard from my wife? Do you know where Junior Duncan is and all this other stuff? He was like, no. He was like, see, you ain't got nothing done. I'm tired of this. So somebody came in and whispered into Brother Elijah's ear. And so he was like, what now? So he was like, well, apparently more of our men have been taken out. And so, of course, he's upset. And I'm like, what did you expect? The Jewish man already told y'all that they are not to be trifled with. But for some unknown reason, you ain't listening. You feel like you above them. All because you think, oh, they just some drug dealers. They just some small-time drug dealers. No, they are drug dealers, killers, and some more. I'm going to need for you to understand. And you have tried their family member. But even though they don't know that's their family member right now, I'm like, you should understand that must have been a deeper connection for them to be setting it off like this. Why is nobody using common sense? I'm sorry. This ain't making sense to me. Brother Xavier is in his feelings to the point where he's just mad. All his men been getting killed left and right. And he trying to leave. So Brother Elijah's like, you can't leave. We're at war. You can't leave. He was like, I'm going to leave. I'm going to do what I want to do. I'm going to do what I should have did when I first got home. So hopefully he going to show his face and get killed because I'm sick and tired of looking at him. He done got on my nerves. Child, Consuela called herself being bayed up with old boy. And so they done finished having sex. And she was like, he was like, where you going? She was like, I'm going downstairs to make some coffee. Would you like some? He just said, oh yeah. And then he done ran off a whole list of food, like special type of toast bread, all this other stuff. She looking at him like, I never said I was domesticated. He was like, I mean, you trying to tell me that you would be the woman of my dreams. The woman of my dreams would be setting it off in the kitchen and doing the most. Like, what is you talking about? I'm just like, Consuela, you can't do nothing. He said, bust a wide open, tell her, bring it back and spend up somebody's money, apparently. Like, girl, bye. So Consuela then went downstairs and she talking to her hit woman and her driver or whatever that man is to her. And she was like, apparently he wants me to be domesticated and all of that. And I ain't about that life. So I'm going to need for y'all to get the nearest diner on the phone. And then like she went and found this copper pot, or copper what's the word? Copper coated pot. It was like a copper coated pan. And they were like, what are you doing? She was like, either one of y'all know how to poach an egg? I'm like, girl, you ain't gonna make it because he gonna know. I'm pretty sure if he actually is all about food like that, he gonna know that she ain't made nothing from scratch. He gonna know that. Pretty sure he's used to ordering out all the time unless the heifers who he be screwing be sitting up there cooking up a storm. But I don't know about all that. But I'm tired. Consuela could just die. I've been tired of her anyway. So anyway, Junior is back in New York, and I guess they ended up meeting up with LC at the airport, and so he's in a vehicle. He done went off. He was like, don't you ever pull that again. And then he was like, look, you got to man up. We got some stuff we got to straighten out. You gonna go talk to somebody. The only person who might actually get through to you. So he was like, who is that? He was like, don't worry about all that. So they ended up taking him to go and see his brother Vegas in jail. So Vegas done went off. First of all, whoever did his locks, whoever did that is everything. I'm wondering if they did that method where I don't know. I don't even want to get into that. This ain't a hair channel. It should have been a hair channel at some point back in the day, but it's not. But anyway, whoever did his locks, kudos to y'all. Because y'all show should have been on Black Lightning when old boy first came on there. Khalil had them locks. That was a travesty. That was a travesty. I was like, who did this and why? I think he got better. But yeah, that first time that he had them locks, I was like, y'all knew y'all were wrong. I'm sorry, y'all. I love hair, so I couldn't help but to see that. I wanted to make sure I put that in there. But anyway, he was talking to him through the gate, and he was talking to him. He was like, you knew you was wrong. We family. You ain't supposed to. He was like, you created all this BS, and then you left. Like, that was trash. I ain't gonna lie. I live for Junior, but that was trashing him. Because everybody is getting hurt and their lives put in jeopardy left and right because of the mess that has been created. Now, this is my thing. I feel like Junior could have been like, you know what? Let me come to them and tell them what the situation is. I live for her. And especially when it was getting to this point. And he done already came to them and be like, look, this is what he did. This is what is going on. This is the situation. I want to be able to go and move away with her. Like, if he really was going to just be done completely. If he was just going to go after old boy and be done and kill him or whatever. And he was going to still leave. I feel like there's another way he could have pulled that off. Included his family without actually getting them caught up any further than they have been. And it would have been a smooth transition. Now he has to face reality. And his sister, I mean, not sister. You might as well say sister. His cousin, they got kidnapped. Like, the most is going on. They can't even go out in public to do nothing, like, in normal life because of this foolishness. Like, it's too much. Y'all. So he went and talked to him. And he was like, I love her. Like, you know, and he was just like, what do you expect me to do? So he was like, you ain't acting like a donkey. You need to act like a donkey or whatever. So they had their heart to heart. Junior was crying. Y'all, when Junior cried, when he get emotional, man, I can't. I can't. Like, I be like, don't do it, Junior. Junior, don't do it. Don't do that. Because you know I live for you. Y'all, so anyway, Orlando went over to the heifer house that, you know, was over the lab. She done summoned him over there. Apparently the house smelled good because she over there cooking up a storm. And he was like, I got a lot of stuff going on. I'm not going to be able to stay even though it smell good up in here. And like, he really was trying to leave. And she was like, look, I done slaved over this stove. I got this stuff cooking for you. And he was like, I really got to get back to work. So she was like, well, you better make it quick. Girl, first, second, third, fourth, and fifth of all. Why though? Why you want somebody to make it quick? If I want you like that, I don't want it to be quick. I don't want it to be quick. I don't. I want it to be amazing. That's like saying I want pot roast. I want that to be done in 5 minutes. What is we talking about? That ain't even how it go. That is not how it go. But whatever. So Sasha and old boy are about to play chess. And while they're playing chess, she notices that the bishop is not on the board. And so she was like, okay, I noticed that your bishop isn't here. What's going on with that? And so he was like, I realized that I can play with him without him. I'm doing that well, you know, on my own. It's like everything they were doing, it was an analogy. Everything related back to what was currently going on. And she was like, okay, well, what about the queen? He said that the queen must be protected at all costs. And we are supposed to infer that he is talking about her. And then she was like, well, what about the king? And he was like, you know, I gotta, you know, try to protect him to the best of my ability. Y'all, tell me why they in the middle of talking and playing this game, and all of a sudden old boy come in there and was like, Brother Xavier wants to see you. Well, Brother Xavier needs to, you need to go and see him. Like something happened, something going on with him. You need to go see him. So he leave out, but before he leaves out, he, handcuffs her back to where she was. So she's upset. He done left out and she done pushed the board on the floor. So he goes in the room and was like, what happened to you? This fool pacing around like a maniac with blood all on him, talking about he done killed all the Duncans that was on his list and all of this. Like, he is bloody. Listen, y'all. I really feel like this is a ploy that this fool that came up with so that he can go and report back to Sasha to see if she gonna crack and say something that's opposite of what she's been saying the whole time, which is that she is over here trying to get some information on him because she's a journalist and all this other stuff. I'm sorry, I ain't buying it. I don't care what nobody say. Meanwhile, Orlando is tired in his entire spirit, and he done met up with the twins and all of them, and they got guns everywhere. And he was like, I'm sick of this. Like, he is really going all the way off. He was like, I don't care what you got to do. I don't care if you got to knock on every single door in Bed-Stuy, in Brooklyn, or wherever he said. I want my cousin back here with us safe. Done went all the way off. I am here for it. I love that type of energy. Harris went on ahead and popped up on Bernie, who is, the Jewish guy, to speak with him because, as we all know, he never made it to the meeting. So he was like, what happened to you, Bernie? Why weren't you at the meeting? He was like, well, why would I show up at a place that I already know what the outcome is going to be? Ain't no reason to come there when y'all ain't going to run me what I want. And so eventually he came up at him and was like, well, I heard, up until now, it was a rumor that Sasha had been kidnapped, but, you're confirming it now or whatever. He was like, what if we free the girl? He basically had a proposition talking about $1 billion. And he was like, they ain't trying to hear nothing about money right now. LC and them don't care nothing about money. They just care about getting Sasha home. And so Bernie is concerned about what he want, and he talking about $1 billion. And he was like, well, what if we could free the girl? What about that? And so he was like, I want to, have a meeting with him in the morning about it. And he was like, I'll take it back to LC and see what he say. I'm so done. I'm so tired. Okay, y'all. So anyway, back to the craziness of Brother Xavier. Apparently this fool did kill Duncans, but it was just random people whose names were on a white pages piece of paper. I'm just like, what? You don't, like, I can't. It's the stupidity for me. All you saw was a line of names that all had the last name Duncan on it that had been ripped from the white pages of a phone book. And all of a sudden, you thought you did something. And so, brother Elijah is like, you do realize that's just a piece of paper from the white pages. He was like, I don't care. At least one of them has to be related to Junior. I'm just like, you're dumb. You're dumb. I just can't. Y'all don't even understand. My last name, I have so many relatives that I've never met in my life. And with what my last name is, you would think that it just, I'm telling you, there are people who live back home in Montgomery, Alabama, who have my same last name. They are not related to me. And you would think they would be because they from Montgomery too. And they just another set of people with my last name, but they ain't kidding to me. But my family is humongous on both sides. It's a whole gang of us. I don't even think I met half of them. I really don't. I'm just like, but how? He is so stupid. I just don't understand. It's the stupidity for me. Like, how dumb can you really be? Like, but this is the person that y'all have over an organization. He is literally stupid. Brother Xavier has asked yet again, where is Brother Samuel? And then, old boy was like, he didn't return last night. We're at war. He might have gotten caught up and is now a casualty of war because of all the stuff that is going on. So, of course, Brother Xavier is upset about that. I'm just like, child, please. So anyway, Oh boy, whoever the man name, I forgot what his name is. The person who wants to kind of have dealings with Bernie, he met up with like 3 scientists in his home. And he is trying to secure the formula for heat. This is what we find out now. That's pretty much why he wants dealings with Bernie, because he knows that he has a heavy connection with the Duncans. He has this, you know, really long relationship. I think they're dealing with each other 20-something, 30-something years. So yeah, knowing each other at least that long. But he has been around just like a little bit over a year. So he done went all the way off. They talking about it's very difficult. We thought we would have been able to do it, but it's very difficult. We've been trying to duplicate it, but we can't. And he was like, I gave each one of y'all 10 million euros. Then I had to come up off another 20 million euros for the equipment. You do understand that ain't nobody got time for this. Man, he poured him a glass of some kind of bourbon or something. And then he opened up this box like I figured he was going to do and killed all of them. And then proceeded to tell their dead bodies that failure is not an option. Failure is never an option. I was just like, how you gonna say that? Failure is never an option. Failure is never acceptable. And all of this, you talking to dead bodies now. So then his woman, wife, or whatever she is, who is also the same person who approached Bernie with those diamonds, came in the room and, you know, tried to reason with him and talk to him and was like, what have you done? He was like, look, I was cleaning the house and they weren't telling me what I wanted to hear. And she was like, well, if you would stop killing all of our chemists, we might be able to come up with something. Like, you never let them live long enough to do this. So, y'all, he doing a whole lot in his life. Xavier ended up meeting up with Bernie. And Bernie read him because he knew about all of his activities. And he was like, see, nobody likes someone who just knows everything. Bernie be knowing too much. I'm sorry. But anyway, so he knew about the killing spree in Brooklyn and all of that. And so he was like, look, I feel like there's only one way that we can remedy this. Give me the girl. And he was like, girl? What girl? He was like, y'all, he went in his pocket to get his flask to put some more alcohol in his teacup. He was like, don't play with me, Xavier. You know what girl? Sasha Duncan. Well, up until this moment, he didn't even know that he had a Duncan in his possession. So he's tied in his entire spirit. And he was like, we had a Duncan in our possession the entire time. Y'all, Bernie said, give the girl to me. Give her to me, and then we'll be able to do this. So he seems like he's going to actually make this happen. So he called Brother Elijah, told him that she's a Duncan, have her travel ready by the time he gets back to the house, and just know that this is a situation where he's going to be alone. Of course, he's trying to say, hey, you need to have me and one of the other brothers with you. You are a wanted fugitive. Your face is all over the United States, plastered everywhere. And so he ain't trying to hear that, whatever. So I'm really hoping, I've been hoping this whole time that he was going to get some sense, despite whether or not he finds out who Sasha really is, her affiliation to the family or whatever, that he is going to be like, you know what, this is not healthy. This is a toxic situation. Let me get her out of here and go on the run on my own or whatever, do something or try to get in the good graces of the Duncans despite what I've been doing, well, who I'm associated with. Hopefully he will take her and go somewhere else and not have any affiliation with him anymore, but I don't know what he gonna do. Senor Cruz, or Consuelo's brother, has come to New York as promised, and he wanted to meet at the little sex place that you got to pay like $500,000 or $1 million to get up in and have a year membership. So Orlando is taken aback that he actually wanted to meet there, but he was like, that's cool. Do what you want to do. And so he was like, look, before we get to the pleasure, I want to talk business. So they were talking. He was talking about, I heard that like a certain amount of men were killed from the Brotherhood in Rikers Island. And I'm pretty sure that Senor Cruz had some people on that. And so, he was like, I thank y'all for, everything that y'all done and all this other stuff. Y'all, he in the middle of talking to him and he think he sees somebody he know. And I already knew what it was. But I was like, really, girl? It was that heifer Ruby. So before he could get to her, she had went back in the back. And so the woman who's over the establishment was like, you know the rules, you know the house rules. You cannot go back there unless you have an escort. He was like, well, can you escort me? I want to respect your business. And so she was like, I can't do that. So I guess she overheard the situation, came out and was like, what do you want, Orlando? And so he was like, I just want to know how my son is doing. I want to see my son. I love you, whatever, all this other stuff. She didn't want to hear none of that, so she walked outside. So old girl who was over the establishment asked Rob, who is, over the security detail for the Duncans, asked him to keep an eye on them because she didn't want them to pop off. So she went outside. They was all out there talking. They in the middle of talking. And he was like, I love you. And she wasn't really trying to hear nothing he had to say. But Rob came outside interrupting them. Orlando ain't here for it, but he was like, I'm really sorry to interrupt. I can't help this, but they think that they have found where Sasha's being held. They're loading up everything right now. He was like, are you serious? So hopefully they found her and can snatch her up before they get gone. Anyway.